Let's get it popping. How is everybody doing? Hi, everybody. Well, it's just one of y'all now. Hey, what's up? Oh, gosh. How is everybody? We about to get it popping in this motherfucker. Hey, Reggie. Hey, Guru. Hey, Tony and Winnie. Oh, so lyrical. Hey, boo. Hey, Tony. How are you? Hey, Rachel. Thank you. You know, give a little red bone, Grace Jones. You know, a bitch trying to do something, so she not looking like somebody's Gwendolyn Brooks auntie school teacher. You know, when you get a certain age and you're a little thicker, you start giving auntie. Ah. Hey, Cyan. How are y'all doing? Are y'all feeling good? Are y'all surviving Kobe Gate? Hey, Mia. Come on, TD. All right. I just wanted to kind of come and talk to y'all. All right, give y'all some updates. Let's see what is some updates that is happening. Let's see. So I will be in San Francisco next week. We're doing a self-love kind of seminar at like 12 on the 7th, I think. That's an update. I will be speaking at Sanford. You know, a hood trans bitch like me speaking in Sanford is kind of epic. Stanford. At the end of the month, I will be going on a cruise for my birthday at the end of the month as well. Trying to think. Of course, I'll be in New York for Pod and Live with T with Queen and Jay. So if you are in New York, I will be there. Trying to think of updates. Oh, I have a chapter coming out in a book called Otherwise Christian. It is to teach folks who are Christian how to be trans inclusive. What else? Will I be releasing music? Gosh, I always release my music on SoundCloud. I can't really say that I'll be releasing music like to sell. I just give it for free because I don't think I'm some grand artist. So my music will be. I always put it on SoundCloud, so you can just search Diamond Styles Music on SoundCloud. All my music is there. Let's see. What else? You need to give us the follow-up with Eric. Oh, the Love Belief series. So I'm trying to think. Did I give y'all what happened with Eric? Okay. So I'm in the middle of writing my book. So I don't know when that's gonna come out, but I'm on chapter 3. So with Love Beneath, um, so my intention with the Love Beneath chapters, my total intention before my channel was deleted was the Love Beneath series was going to be the prelude to my book. So I was going to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up to 20, and those be the prelude to my book. And my book is going to cover my 20s, like from the time I was in college till I was 30. And that was my full intention. So If things had went as planned, it should be. I really don't have a few more episodes. I need y'all to understand what happened with Gerald, and I needed y'all to understand what happened. Y'all got what happened with Eric. Like that was going to be the last instance of talking to Eric. Well, not the last instance, the last instance before the book. Because the situation with Eric's mom, that was literally the last event that happened before we rekindled later on in my 20s. Like late in my 20s. There is an incident that happened with Gerald in this era. So I was gonna share that. I was gonna share that story. But as far as my book was gonna talk about my college experience and then my escort experience, because I went from college to an escort. Because my mom had went to prison. Y'all know the story with me and my brother. And then I ended up getting married, getting out of escorting, and then all of my 20s, it was college, escorting, and then getting married to a down low nigga that actually had another cisgender relationship on the whole other side of town. So my book is explaining that because I haven't even told y'all most of what has happened in my 20s. Most of the stories that I've told y'all has been about before my 20s. There's some stories that happened in my 20s, but most of the stories were about my younger days, not my 20s. I barely told y'all anything about escorting and the drama that comes with that. Yes. What else? I can't wait. Amazing. What else? What else? What else is coming up? So, of course, if you don't follow me or you haven't heard from me, you know that I am recently hired to be the executive director of Black Trans Women's Inc. I just started that 2 weeks ago. So right now we are working on my anti-violence task force that I'm organizing that where we connect all. I'm trying to get a connection between Black trans women in each of the major cities in Texas, so Houston, Dallas, Austin, and San Antonio, to create a cohort so that we all can come up with a response to violence. I just got some grant money from, well, didn't just get it, but it's coming down the pipeline from AIDS United, Borealis, and somebody else I can't remember right off the top of my head right now. But we are coming up with housing. The program that I've created and trying to launch out is about emergency housing for girls in violent situations, so that the situation with Malaysia Booker doesn't repeat itself, and there aren't non-Black trans organizations coming in trying to get credit and trying to help people without an actual program that's efficient for girls who are in trouble in those type of situations. And that is what Black Trans Women's Inc. is trying to do now that I'm at the helm. And so that's what we're working on now. So make sure if you got a little bit of change, you can donate. What else is going on? I'm trying to think of what else is going on. Nothing huge coming up. Yeah, that's about it. So, What's been going on with y'all lives? Like, how are y'all dealing with Kobe Bryant dying? I'm not into sports, but when somebody is big enough in a particular arena, they do they're a part of the what is it, the ethos of culture. They're a part of culture so much that they are a major staple in culture. So him passing was a huge thing. Hey Jaira, how are you? I just watched your video yesterday. Um, um, Guru, I will answer that in a second. But what I'm a slut, so so what Kobe's death has really brought into my mind is the memories of when Shaq was younger. I was never really attracted to Kobe. Kobe was a regular degular ass nigga. He really wasn't somebody I thought was like fine. Kobe was he was a regular, degular, boring. He wasn't ugly. He was one of them niggas. Like if he came, of course, because he tall, it kind of give him a little edge. But if he was not as tall and he wasn't famous, he wasn't Kobe, and he came and somebody brought him as like a blind date, and he was supposed to be your date. Kobe would be somebody that I wouldn't be disappointed, but I wouldn't be like, oh my god, he fine. He would be like, "Oh, he cute." Like I wouldn't be like, "You brought your ugly friend." I would be like, "Oh, he cute." I'm not. He ain't my fire and desire, but he ain't that. Now, Shaq when he was younger, not Shaq now, because he done turned into somebody ugly dad, ugly uncle. But Shaq back in the day, like back in his younger, like magic years, oh, Shaq was my fire and desire. So if seeing old video and old pictures of Kobe and Shaq, I'm like, damn, God, Shaq was a snack, bitch. So that's really all I've been thinking about in regards to that. It ain't really hit me hard in regards to, him passing. I feel sorry I know to have to deal with um his wife having to deal with her baby and her husband dying. Now she got coins like a motherfucker, so she can go get all the therapy that she can muster to be able to handle the situation. She got the money to deal with it. Some of us broke, so if something happened like that to us, we can't deal with it. But she got the money to, have people support her and deal with the grief of losing her people. You never really get over it. But and I can only imagine just dealing with that on such a large scale, such a big ass scale. So that's crazy, 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 crazy. So, but I feel sorry for her, and I hope that my condolences to her family. Who else? What else has been going on? Pastor Roy, that little stupid ass shit that he was talking about with the mozzarella sticks and Lil Nas X. What's going on with straight men? Why can't they mind their business? Why are they so infatuated with what other men are doing with their penises if they're not gay? It just seems like that would be the least of your worries. It seemed like, you would be, it just seems like you would be happy that you don't have as much competition out here. Get you some business. I don't understand it. Like I don't really understand it. Um, all right, Guru. So, what are some of the reasons that divide behind the divide in the Black LGBT community between gay men and trans women? I'm in my 50s and not in the scene, but in my day, there were more solidarity. Hmm. So you are in your 50s, so that means that you grew up. Your teenage years were spent in the 70s and early 80s. So your era of time was prior to the AIDS epidemic. It was prior to Ellen. It was prior to a lot of the um, big happenings in the community. It was after Stonewall. Um, so during your time, during your era of time of growing up in the scene, if you were a part of the scene, there was there was an illusion. There was an illusion of solidarity because cis people lumped us all in together. There was not a distinct separation between gay men and trans women. These politics that we have now in our community where there's a distinct separation. I'm a woman and that's a gay man. Really did the work to establish that difference. We really do. It used to be we were just delegated to be at the same clubs, to be to be together because that's where cis people put us. You are all the same. You are all sodomites. You are all going to hell. You are all the same exact thing. Drag queens, gay men, queers, all y'all are all together. So it almost like we were forced to be together and be in solidarity with each other because the oppression was so heavy, 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 heavy. But now in this era, we have fought to have a very distinct difference. We have fought to teach cis people that there is a distinct difference between the L, the B, the G, the T, and and the Q and the I and the A. Like we literally are defining more intimately and more distinctly what those things mean so people can understand and not lump us in together. Um, and also, we're getting a more robust idea of misogyny. We're getting a more robust idea of racism in regards to how it affects those intersections. And so now, when it comes to misogyny and stuff like that, trans women are calling out gay men about their misogyny. We're calling out their internalized transphobia. We're calling out inner community shit that we couldn't back in the day because we were all lumped together and it just seemed like we were all against the cis people, at least trying to get some speck of rights. And now we can look at the past and we can look in the back. We can look back when gay folks were trying to throw us under a bus when it comes to like the end of bill and when it comes to like giving us our rights. And like the right wing was like, we'll let y'all put some stuff through if y'all just leave the trans shit over here. And there were some gay people who were like, sure, we'll throw them under the bus. So now we're looking back at things and we're calling things out, and with the internet, we're not really letting shit slide. We're not letting people get away with ignorance. We're not letting people make it no more. And so it's starting to look like we're more divided, but I don't think so. I think that I think we're just becoming. It's like with like black men and black women. We're starting to call out misogynoir, and we're starting to call out patriarchy, and so we're no longer are we letting you just ride it out, and we be the ones that hold you down, and you doing all this fluckery shit. Every time you get famous, you go get a white woman, or or we standing marching in line for you when police is killing your ass, but then when shit happens to us, you trying to pull a Terry Crews, like shit like that. We no longer are we not letting shit like that slide anymore. And I think it's happening through all, through all, anywhere you see intersections and there's somebody who has traditionally, kind of fucked us over. Think about the relationship between black women and white women. No longer are we letting you slide. Back in the day when, they was doing the suffrage march and they was making the black women stand in the back. Remember when they had Ida B. Wells sitting in the back of the march, but they knew they needed their support, but they was like, "Oh, we white, we don't want y'all to be in front of us." We no longer are we letting white bitches play these games. No longer are we gonna let you make it and be able to hold the crown of, oh, I'm oppressed by the men. I'm oppressed by the men, but not have any kind of racial analysis on how you add to the oppression of Black people as a white woman. We no longer are in the situation where we are letting people slide. LGBT people, when it comes to racism and all the stuff like that, trans folks are not letting gay men, gay women slide anymore about throwing us on their bus. We are no longer the little t in the LGBT. We are a part of this conglomerate, and if you're throwing us under a bus, it's not okay. When it comes to race, we no longer are letting Black men slide and hold on to their patriarchy and be misogynistic. Like, if we all not coming up and battling against this white supremacy, then fuck you. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. And so we're calling you out, white women. If you're letting gender, if you're just analyzing gender and not analyzing race, it's not okay. That's not okay that 53% of y'all is voting for fucking Trump, but you want to claim patriarchy is oppressing you. But you ain't going to gather Susan and Karen and Rebecca when it's time to vote. Like, that's your job. You need to get your motherfucking people. So I think those are the things of why, it's just when it comes to the division, Guru, I just think that we've always been divided. I don't think it's always been talked about in detail that we are talking about it now. We're not letting stuff slide. We have the information, and people are talking about it openly on this mass platform that we have in regards to the internet. Let's see what else. Hey, Misha. No, Misha, I did not delete my channel for whatever reason. They just deleted me, and they, for whatever reason, gave it back to me. I don't know. It is what it is. Well, so for me, in my own personal life, I haven't had any, like, overall, gay men have been great supporters of mine. Like, I haven't had any issues with gay men as a whole. Like, I've had individual gay men be shady. You see what I'm saying? Like, I've had there's been gay men in my life who I felt like they would have transitioned in their life if they weren't so masculine. And I think that there's a jealousy there. This is not all gay men. So I never would say all gay men are jealous of trans women. But I've had individual gay men who I felt like, oh, the reason why they don't live is because they're jealous, because they don't have the guts or don't have the look to transition well in the way that they want. And so they kind of hate on us. That's one. Or they feel that the men that like us are gay. And so they might want to have them. And if they don't, then it's like, oh, that's a man. That's a man. I've had gay men like that, where it's like a jealous in the type of men that we pull. They think that they're able to pull them too. And there's understand that there's overlap because of the nature of what we are. There's some overlap where a dude will mess around with a gay man and mess around with a trans woman. But there are some men who won't mess around with a gay man, but they would mess around with a trans woman. And so I think sometimes with gay men that kind of that not definitely not all of them. So most gay men don't care. Most gay men that I am cool with, they like I like men and I don't care about none of the niggas you fucking with. They literally have no kind of and that's mostly the ones that I come in contact with. Like I said, I'm never gay men have been amazing for me in my life. I have great gay male friends. So this kind of divide or cattiness isn't really a realistic thing in my particular life. It just isn't. But I have had individuals. It's kind of like with cis women. Some cis women don't think of me as a woman, so they don't think of me as a threat, and so they don't even think of me at all. But then there's some that do think of you as a threat, and they respond in a way that's negative. And so I see the same thing with gay men, where some of them really don't care. You're a trans woman, great. I'm over here on Jacked and Grinder, get my life. I could care less what you're doing. um, but then there's some that's like, oh girl, oh honey, I could pull the same tray that you pull, honey. You think because you got that wig and you got them titties and you got that silicone, you got that body, you got all of these things, girl, honey, oh girl, I can pull the tray. I'm all natural, baby. I'm all natural. Y'all know how they do. I'm all natural, baby, and I still can pull the niggas. You got the gay men just like that. And you be looking at them like, okay. Okay, Antoine. Okay. 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 So that's usually how they, how they give. They will give all of that. They're just like that, I swear. What else? Let me think. I don't know what else has been going on. What else y'all want to talk about? I'm trying to be on here for an hour. We've been on here for 27 minutes. I'm gonna try to do this like once a week. So if you have been under a rock, y'all know that I have a podcast, Marsha's Plate, MARSHASPLATE. Marsha's Plate is on all platforms. It is me, my daughter Mia Mix, and her boyfriend Z. What else? We discuss all kinds of stuff. Y'all can go listen. We've been on for 2 years now. I have been working on my internalized transphobia a lot, Diamond, and stop focusing on the concept of passing so much. So that brings us a good conversation. So let's talk about this. We are gonna do more recordings of the Love Below, not too much more. Let me say this. This brings up a conversation about non-binary folks. So I'm an old school girl. I'm not an elder, but I'm not a young girl either. So I'm kind of in that auntie stage. That's cool. I am a binary girl. So I come from the era that we want to pass, we want to be the cunts, we want to blend with society, we want to blend in with cis heteronormative ideals of gender. So much so that it is safe, that we are just going through the world, getting our life. So I am one of those girls. I am one of those girls that was indoctrinated in the rule that you go and be a woman. but but I am also one of those people that have a problem. I have a problem with trans people who have an issue with non-binary people. I think that when we talk about non-binary people, there's a level of hypocrisy that I hear coming from binary trans people's mouths. And I'm not comfortable with it. I kind of stay out of the conversation until it gets kind of disrespectful. But y'all, sometimes when y'all are talking about non-binary folks, y'all are very unrealistic. Y'all have a cisgender kind of mind. Y'all have like a real, like y'all saying, like, it's just some weird ass shit that I hear some people saying that I think personally, non-binary people are shaking up the table. Like, I can't say that that's my fight because I just come from a different era. But what the young people are doing, because this is non-binary has been around for years. It's not new. But what the young non-binary people are doing, they're shaking up the table. They're giving people freedom to be able to present however they want to present. And actually, that does a service for the girl who may be binary but not passing. Because a lot of you girls, y'all think y'all passing and y'all not. I'm going to keep it gutter. Some of y'all, like I remember this girl, you know how now it's kind of getting customary where we ask people pronouns. Like when we come into a space and we're introducing ourselves, and we always say, well, I would say my pronouns are she, her, hers, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes I see girls like kind of pushing back against that and saying, I don't need to say my pronouns. What do I give you? What do I look like to you? And apparently they think that they look like a woman. And sometimes I be like, you might think that you're giving this passable woman, but the reason why people are saying pronouns, the reason why we are doing this is so that somebody who in their mind, they think you a man, my nigga. In their mind, they read you as somebody, not a woman. And then, honey, if you told them your pronouns, and okay, now I know that I need to call her a girl. But in what they visualize and see you, they not seeing no man, they clocked you. I mean, they not seeing no woman, they clocked you. And so the whole point of saying pronouns is that so people who may read you one way, that you may not be thinking that they reading you, can still respect you and give your pronouns the way they're supposed to be given. That's the whole point. That is the point of saying pronouns. So if somebody is confused or somebody may not read you the way you think you're being read, because y'all know, this ain't me being shady. Y'all know some girls. I know some girls with a sex change, and I'm like, you should have got some other stuff done before you got a pussy. Because I'm still seeing what I'm seeing, girl. and honey, that's no shame. But sometimes, you still got some work to do. But you thinking you so passable. And what I feel is that non-binary people are leaving it open. They are leaving it, they're open up to where if you got a little bit of stubble that day and you ain't passing, you got a little blue beard that somebody can see, your voice a little bit deeper than it's supposed to be, whatever those in the middle things that you ain't been able to get worked up on, you ain't got the money to go get your FFS, so they still see that big ass brow bone on your forehead. All the things that you haven't been able to do to get to that passable level of binary rules, these non-binary folks are saying it's okay to be in the middle. These non-binary folks are saying it's okay for you still to respect my pronouns however I give them to you, even no matter where in the middle I fall. They are the non-binary people are opening up the door for us to be a little less strict in how we need to present. Because there's some girls who, no matter how much surgery, no matter how much they get done, they still, they still might not pass. They still might look like a trans woman. They still might look like a non-cis woman. Somebody still might clock them. And so these non-binary people are saying, no matter where I fall in that spectrum of how I express my gender, still respect what I tell you I am. Still respect what the pronouns that I give you. Still respect that I want to be called they. Still respect that I still want to be called she. Or still respect that wherever I tell you I want to be respected in regards to the titles that you give me, this is where it is going to be. Exactly. Non-binary people set the tone for you to ask instead of you just being assuming. You just assume based on what you see, because sometimes what you see don't match what I think is you supposed to see. And so I don't like, and then when people talk about them taking up space, like a lot of times I see trans folks saying they're taking up too much space. But this is the same thing that gay folks, like the lesbians and the gay men, said about us, about trans folks taking up space when we were trying to make a distinction, when we were being lumped in with them. And we were just trying to make a distinction between us two. We weren't trying to separate because we know we all are gender nonconforming. But we needed to make the distinction. It wasn't that we were trying to take up space. It's that we're trying to let you know that some people don't fit in that binary thing, or some people don't fit in that sexuality thing. Well, for trans person, this is an identity thing. This isn't a sexuality thing. So I need y'all to make that distinction. And the lesbians and gays, y'all taking up too much space. Da, 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 da. And so now we are doing the same thing to the non-binary people that they were doing to us. The same thing that the cis women were doing to the trans women. They're making it. They're just stating their piece that, hey, this is what we are. This is the difference between us and the stereotypical trans person. We're still trans because we may not be going from this assigned all the way over to the other side. We may be going over just a little bit over to the other side. We're not going all the way over here. Like if I'm assigned female at birth, I still may be transitioning, but not transitioning all the way over to over here to this butch, masculine, super, super, super. I could be transitioning just over the line, just over the line to maleness a little bit, where I might get on my testosterone and get my beard, but I might still want to pump in a gown or two, honey. I'm not all the way over here, and that's okay. And they're saying they're making room for us to not be as perfected as we need to be in cis heteronormativity that old school trans standards were. Because old school trans standards said, boom, you go get all the surgeries, all the things, and look exactly like a woman, and go forget your family and go all the way over here and blend in with society in every single way. Even the negative, misogynistic, patriarchal shit, you need to do all of that stuff because that's what real women do. Non-binary people are shaking all that shit up and they saying, no, ma'am. No, thank you. No, ma'am. No, sir. Nope. Mix it up. MX. So let me see what else. Um, yeah, and I think that's what non-binary are people are putting in question. These really strict gender stereotypes and where where you need to fall to be accepted, where you need to fall to be accepted as a woman, where you need to fall to be accepted as a man if you're a trans man. How far do you need to go to be accepted? It used to be you had to go super far. You had to get your sex change. You had to get your breast done. You had to get, if you're a trans woman, you had to just really blend. We're only going to accept you. Even now, when we talk about the girls who are popular, um, they fit a certain level of passability. Not all of them, but um, the girls that are the most popular, they they fit the binary a little bit. You know, they're the stereotype. They play in the binary the way the cisgender people deem acceptable. Oh yeah, I love Trace, but Trace, Trace fits the binary down. Um, yes, I love Janet Mock. Most of the girls from Pose. Um, you got India who claims a non-binary label, but it's almost politically that she claims a non-binary label. I think she said. I think I read her say she claims a non-binary label politically because you can still because she said you still call her she. For her, she's super super passable, so it's easy for her to. That's almost like I can't really explain it, but she's super passable. Like she still fits the um the binary still. Like she has to actively say I'm non-binary. I actively say they them. She has to actively do that because you're just gonna assume that she's just a woman. Lena Bloom, Amaya Scott. Yes, all the girls, even all the girls, all the girls that became popular, they popular because they fit that cis normative rule. Um, those rules. Diamond, would you be would you be open to dating a trans man? Yes, I would. Um, I'm actually technically married to a trans man. Actually, I got married in 2015. Most people don't know that, but not in a romantic relationship. Um, yeah. Um, who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? I haven't found a trans man that I could date. Um, so this how it usually works in my life. When I meet say if it's a trans man that I'm physically attracted to, they only like cis women. And if it's a trans man that's attracted to me, they don't I'm not attracted to them. So usually the ones that I'm not attracted to don't pass. So usually the ones that I'm attracted to that pass, they usually only date cis women. um, or it's two things, or either they're the ones that like me are intimidated by me because I'm quote unquote Diamond Styles in the community, and they so they'll tell somebody else that they're attracted to me, but they won't tell me. or they'll come on to me in such a creepy, disgusting way. I don't come on to men. That's no, so let me put that out there. So I don't come on to men and be like, hey, what's up? Da, 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 da. That ain't really my style. Um, I like to be chased. Um, so when men come on to me, when trans men on to me, it's either too non-aggressive or it's too aggressive. They don't know how to balance. The too aggressive is either like I remember I went on a date with one. First of all, I didn't know it was a date, but it turned into a situation like that. And by the time we ended the night, he was asking me to eat his pussy. Just really direct at the end of the night. Like during the time that you normally would ask for a kiss, he was asking me to eat the cat. And I was like, whoa, hold on. I never, and this was years ago. So I was way more problematic. I was way more problematic. Where I was like, ooh, I, I back then I was literally way more problematic than I was now. So I would have said in the moment I said something really disrespectful, but he was already being disrespectful. So we was kind of being disrespectful to each other, but not intentionally. It just I hadn't grown. So I was saying really problematic shit like, oh no, sweetie, I date real men. Like problematic like that. And so, but this was back in like 2011. So years ago. So I have grown since then. So I wouldn't dare say that now. But back when this happened, I was like, oh no, whoa, this ain't me. Oh no, you taking it to a whole nother level. So they either would be super, super creepy like that, or they would be too subtle, where I don't know if they're flirting or anything. Hey, Marquita. Well, actually, Mia, when you compare testosterone and estrogen, testosterone is a stronger chemical than estrogen. So testosterone really, really, um, more so than with trans women, testosterone in trans men is a strong chemical. So it just really gives them um, the possibility that they are really looking for, because it gives them the deeper voice, it gives them the hair, and it even changes their bone structure. Whereas to with trans women, estrogen doesn't have those kind of it's not as strong of a chemical, so it's not going to change your voice. Now it can stop those things from happening if your voice hasn't changed yet, but if you've already went through the puberty process, it's not going to change your bone structure, like with your jawline and with your brow bone, with your hairline receding. It's not going to stop those things if they've already started to occur. um, what else? What else? So yeah, so testosterone, they're blessed in the sense that testosterone really, really works in regards to changing their body. Now, on the flip side, we're really, really blessed in regards to our sex change process is much more advanced than theirs. And so our it's a perk on each side. um yeah, and it's really as far as hormones, it's really just about your own particular blood work and your own particular chemistry. Because I know some girls who got hormones and baby, their titties just grew. And I know some girls who been on hormones forever and they still ain't got no titties. So it really just depends on your genetics. It depends on, you know, how it works for you. Hey, John Pierre. John Pierre. Um, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Mm, 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 mm. So, what else? So, we got about 10 minutes before I get up off of here. What y'all want to talk about for 10 minutes? I'm gonna try to do this like once a week. This seems like it would be fun to do once a week. Like is Friday good for y'all? What is your opinion on colon vaginoplasty? So I wouldn't be a girl to actually give my opinion on those kind of surgeries because I have literally no intention on um getting a sex change. That's not a part of my ministry. Um, yeah, that's not a part of my ministry, so I wouldn't know. Um, yeah. Do the medical industry use progesterone for hormone therapy? Yes, they do. Mr. Niles is, I think that's how you say it. Niles. I don't really. I know my hormone therapy included. My hormone therapy included progesterone. So I had estradiol and progesterone, and that was the cocktail that really changed my body makeup. When I was just on estradiol, it didn't really. It made my nipples kind of sensitive. It made them sensitive, and it made them grow. Like I grew some nice breast tissue up to like a B, but they stopped at that. Um, but it didn't really change like my overall physical. Um, it wasn't until I added thank you, Ghost. Um, it wasn't until I added progesterone that it actually physically changed my body. Estradiol changed it a little bit, but progesterone took me to whole baby mama status. I mean, my whole skin was looking soft and fish. Um, and now I'm trying to get out of using fish. Was looking soft and supple and cunt. um, when is the next Marsha's Plate live show? Gosh, our live show in New York was sponsored by Queer Global. Deacon and his team really worked hard to get us to New York, and they secured the place, they secured a space for us, and they paid for it all. And it was an amazing show. It was fun. So if you know somebody who wants to sponsor a Marshall Plate live show, and they willing to do all that kind of work that they did, we are ready and willing to go. But right now, our audience isn't as big. We get probably about 3,000 a week. We get 3,000 listeners a week. And about 3,000 listeners a week. So when we get a big enough following, then we can be able to do some more live shows. Definitely. Yes, the Senate failed to remove Trump. Yes, we knew the Senate was going to do that. We knew the Senate. He had the Senate in his bag. We knew he had the Senate. We knew that. Um, oh, I did have. Did I have mood swings? I wouldn't say mood swings. I did have. I haven't been on hormones since 2013, so I haven't been on hormones in a while. So, um, so yeah, I have. So just so you know, I haven't been on hormones since 2013. But when I initially got on, what hormones do for me, they they make my emotional palette more colorful. I hope that explains it. So it turns my emotional palette. Okay, this is the analogy that I can give you. So when I'm not on hormones, my emotional palette is a 16 box of crayons. When I am on hormones, my emotional palette turns into a 64 box of crayons. That is the best analogy that I can give to you that describes my hormones. Then it's not a mood swing, it's just that I have a wider range of emotion. Things affects me in a more intricate level in regards to emotions. It is also one of the reasons why I stopped hormones in 2013, because that's when I became single. And when I'm single and on hormones, it makes me fall in love with every motherfucking nigga that I sleep with, and I don't like that. It makes me more bonding. It makes me more questioning. Like I could have this nigga could have some good dick and it be fire. And I know he's trash. I know that it's just dick. I don't need to be fucking with him on any other level other than that. But if I'm on my hormones will say, "Oh my God, but I can change him. Why don't you get right? Why don't you be you would make somebody a great husband. You would make me a great husband. Why don't you get your shit together so we can be together? We have great sex. Of course. Of course we can do the rest together." My hormones will make me want to bond with niggas that I shouldn't be wanting to bond with. And so, yeah, I don't like that shit. So I stopped hormones so that I'll probably get back on hormones when I get back in a relationship. But right now, got me fucked up. I can compartmentalize easy. Like I know the niggas who I date. Like for example, like y'all probably, since a lot of y'all been on my channel for some years now. There's a dude that I have shown on my channel a lot, Denethan. So like we done been to Denny's together. He's been on my channel a lot. He's my friend. We've been hooking up since 2009. And like me and Denethan, I hang and chill with Denethan. Denethan is we're not in a relationship. It's not that. We are, like, if I want to go to the movies, I go with Denethan. If I want to sit up and Netflix and chill, I Netflix and chill with Denethan. But we are not in a relationship at all. But I know how to compartmentalize him. But we also don't have sex like that. So it's kind of like, he be wanting to, but I know how to. But it's easy for me to compartmentalize when I'm not on hormones. Hey, Cocoa Butter Barbie. We, them, us. Is that not multiple personalities? I don't think so. I don't think that's we use them and they as singular things in all the time. I don't know what you're talking about. Despicable Me. Hey Diamond, so glad to see you back. Welcome back to YouTube. Hey Cocoa Butter, Barbie. Who else? Hey Aiden Nevels. Yeah, too many people try to be doctors. Too many people try to be biologists, especially when it comes to trans folks. When it comes to trans shit, people love to talk about biology and nature and shit when they ain't got nobody's college level education of biology. All they know is X and Y, and that's so eighth grade biology. Anybody who passed a high school level of biology know that there are people who are born outside of the spectrum of X and Y. It's not just you take an X from your mama and you take a Y from your daddy, blah 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 blah. It's not that simple. That's not how it works. That's not how that's not how biology works. There are so many um variations in regards to that. Even men born with an extra X chromosome, that the frequency of that happening is 500 to 1,000. So out of every 500 male births, or every to 1,000 male births, there is a male that is born with an extra X chromosome. And they have not studied how that extra X chromosome affects their interaction with the world. So we don't know if that may be the percentage of folks who gay. Or you just don't know how they haven't studied how that works out. And so to be gung ho about it being, oh, you a man, you a woman, if you were born with an X, if you're born with a Y, then you are, to be that gung ho about something so complicated and so so nuanced and so many layers to it that we haven't studied yet, when you literally know you haven't studied it past a high school level, I think it's ignorant and it's stupid. I think it's dumb. Hey, Miss Real. Thank you. Yeah, science is and can be complex. How often will you be doing lives? I'm gonna try to do lives um once a week, maybe. This I like this. As long as y'all got some questions for me. Yeah, so this was fun. Is this a good time for y'all, like on Friday nights, or should I pick another day that's kind of boring? Um, how can you tell if a doctor is trans friendly? I would call them. I would also talk to trans folks in your area who who have doctors, and see who they suggest you go to. Um, and they should be able to give you some answers in regards to um, doctors. You know, they're especially like call your LGBT center, stuff like that. They will give you more choices in regards to trans doctors. Diamond, I really want to ask a question, but I don't want to appear ignorant, but I don't know how to answer it when my heterosexual friends ask it. Ask your question, Micah. Um, what made you start doing lives? What made you start doing them? This actually is my first one. Mwah. Thank you, Miss Milburn. I will see you in May. um, this actually is my first attempt to do a live. I did a live when I first found out my channel was back, but this is actually my first attempt. So I'm gonna try to do it once a week. Um, just to do. Trey will talk about biology, but the doctor's door in 3 in the morning. Fuck out of here. Right. Um, I think she referring to people who consider themselves to be non-binary. They don't use male or female pronouns, so they refer to themselves as we, us, and other refer to them as they and them. Um, I, I personally, I just think people make the non-binary thing more complicated than it is, especially about like pronouns and stuff. If somebody wants to be called they them, call them they them. It's not really that serious. It's not really that big of a deal. And we do it in a singular. Thank you, Aiden. And we do it in a singular. Like we do it in we say they them in a singular all the time. People just make a big deal about it because it's non-binary people. It's not really that serious. It's like with name changes and calling you another name. it really is not that big. We call people different names all the time. When women get married and their new name is their husband's name, people don't sit there and say, "You were born a Williams. I'm not calling you a Baker." You was born a Williams. I'm gonna call you Williams. I named you Williams. They don't do that shit. They only are doing. They're only being petty about the name because you are trans. It's not about. It's like if a girl name is, my name is Queandria Jenkins, but I don't want you to call me Queandria because that's too long. I want you to call me Q. And if somebody says, "Hey, call me," if Queandria says, "I want you to call me Q," you're not gonna be sad. You're not gonna say, "Yo, mama named you Queandria. I'm gonna call you Queandria." You're gonna say, "Okay, I'm gonna call you Q then," because Queandria said, "Call me Q." But because people have a problem with transness and they think that accepting the name that you told them to do is accepting your womanhood or your manhood, they are pushing up against that because you are trans. So no, I'm not gonna call you um Diana when your name was Daniel. Because if I call you Diana, then that's me saying that I accept your new womanhood and I don't accept it. So I'm calling you Daniel. No. It literally is not as hard as people make it. It's kind of annoying. When trans couple date, is it considered hetero? Thank you for pronouncing my name correctly. Um, I actually had a guy friend in college named Micah, and he was so fine and so sexy. So, and that's how he spelled his name. So that's I always assumed that it's spelled pronounced. Micah Briggs. Anyway, he added me on Facebook, but he doesn't respond to my messages because I slid into them DMs. But he doesn't respond to my messages. Anyway, let me answer your question why I'm reminiscing. So when trans couples date, is it considered heterosexual? Thank you for pronouncing my name correct. Okay. So when trans couples date. So, hey, super nature. So when trans couples date, if those two people, if this one is a trans man and this one is a trans woman, and she considers herself a woman and he considers himself a man, and they come together, that is a heterosexual couple. But if a trans woman dates another trans woman and they come together, they're considered a lesbian couple. If a trans man dates another trans man and they date, they're considered a gay couple because it's two men coming together and they're in a relationship. So so think about it always as the sexuality of the two people who are in relationship with each other. They decide what they are. So and remember, I say they decide. So if you talk to a trans couple and they say something else, it's based on what they say, not what Diamond says, what they say. They get to decide. So for me, example, if I'm in relationship with a trans man, I am going to consider myself, I am going to consider that a queer relationship because we're going to be doing some queer as fuck shit. Buddy, we're going to be doing some queer as fuck shit. And, I consider anybody dealing with me queer. That's me. That's what makes it comfortable. My own personal identity and sexual thing. Because I'm uncomfortable. I'm not speaking for all trans women. I'm not speaking for all trans people. I'm speaking for Diamond Styles. And this has over the years have changed This is what I'm going with, what I have grown to. Back in the day, I used to be so against somebody calling a man who dates me gay. I have a problem with that. I don't think a man who dates me is gay. But there was a part of me that didn't, I was uncomfortable with the straight label too. I could say it, but there was a part of me that was like, this don't sit in my spirit well. Hey, CC, this doesn't sit in my spirit well. This doesn't sit fully into that straight box cuddling. So for me, this only works for me. So I'm not speaking for all trans women. It's for me. I consider any relationship that I'm in with anybody a queer relationship. I am going to respect what they say. Like if a guy comes and dates me and marries me and he says, I'm a straight man, this is a woman, I'm dating a woman, I'm a man, I'm straight. I'm going to respect his identity, however he wants to call it. Great. But to me, in my mind, and when somebody asks me what it is, I am going to say that this is a queer relationship. No matter who I'm in relationship with, whether I'm with a cis woman, trans man, I'm never going to be with a trans woman at all. Trans women are the least attractive thing to me in my mind. I am not attracted to trans women at all. So I would be with literally, I would be with a cis woman before I would be with a trans woman. I don't know how that works, but I literally would. So I'd never be with a trans woman. But if I was with a trans man, or if I was with a cis woman, or if I was with a cis man, I would call it queer no matter what relationship it was. Hey, Miss Love, how are you? Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, I definitely like what I like. My mom refused to call me by anything else but my boy name. I don't know how combative you want to be with your mama, but how I fix my grandmother is I will call her something else. I will call her something else. Like I will call her another name. Every time she would call me another name, I will call her another name. I can't see your picture, Miss Love, so I don't know. I can't see your picture. All right, y'all. I think we've done a show. Do I consider myself monogamous? Oh gosh. Yes. Um, yes, I do consider myself monogamous. That is my ideal. I could be in a relationship with a cis man and a cis woman in like a three-way monogamous thing. That would be cool. I could see myself doing that. Um, I remember that name. I remember Fat for Life. um, I could see myself being in a monogamous three poly. Is that poly? Not open, but a monogamous three-way with a cis woman and a cis man. That I could see that working for me, but I can't say that I'm open. Like I wouldn't. I'm myself. The way my self-esteem is set up, I can't be in. I can't be in an open relationship. I can't be in a situation. I don't want to say I'm possessive, but I like the idea of us being committed to each other and having that commitment. that commitment that we are for each other. All right, y'all. I think that is it. Oh, do they have to be cis? Do they have to be cis? Hmm. I can do that with anybody that is not a trans woman. I'm not attracted to trans women. But I could. There has to be oh God, this is problematic. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it. There has to be a penis involved, like a a a a natural born penis. Was that a politically correct way to say it? I don't know the politically correct way to say it. There has to. I don't mind the extra person being whatever, not a trans woman, but like a cis woman or a trans man. But there has to be another penis toter involved in the three-way. Because my sexual fantasy and sexual stuff that I like involves a penis and a fully functional, yes, natural penis in the situation. That doesn't have to be end all. I'm just keeping it real. I like to see a dick shoot. I like to see a dick shoot. I like the feeling of it throbbing. I like the feeling of it working up to about to shoot. The idea of that is hot. That is a part of my sexual psyche. I like that part of it. I like the idea of how my body feels on it and my connection to how my body making it feel good. The mentally thinking about a strap, and I know this strap is not connected to feeling the way I'm connected to that. I don't feel comfortable. That doesn't make me feel sexy. That makes me feel like I'm fucking like I'm literally not into toys. So it just, I don't know. It just, that's complicated for my sexual self. So I can't really get into it. I can get into their body part. Like I'm not totally disgusted by a vagina. Yeah, I'm not totally disgusted by the anatomy of a vagina or a trans man's body, his growth. I'm not disgusted by that stuff. So I can engage with those however I see fit or they see fit. But if I'm going to be in a three-way relationship, there has to be somebody in the relationship with a fully functional penis. Yes. Um, um, when cis men are only attracted to trans women, I think that is a particular choice, and I have questions. I have questions. I want to know why that choice is. I don't personally like the results of their bottom surgery, so that wouldn't be for me. But that's not for me to. That's for them. If they're great with it, that's on them. But I'm talking about for me to engage with. I don't personally like the results for myself, for my sexual, that. Mm, No, I w- I don't want to date a trans woman at all. Am I attracted to a feminine man? No, no. I'm definitely attracted to masculinity. Polyamory. I could play with a polyamorous relationship. Um, I like monogamy. I would my idea would be just me and a cis man, but I could open it up to a cis man and a cis woman. Um, I could be with a trans man and a cis woman. Oh no, no, I couldn't. Um, I could, but I would have to be open. I need to be able to give me some dick on the side, then, if that's the case. Um, a cis man and a trans man, I could do. Um, what else? Yeah, I don't know. Just ideally, if I just had to be a perfect situation, it would just be me and a cis man. Um, but I'm open to trans man if the connection is right and we could play around with some people. I could see that working. Yes. All right, y'all. It has been long enough. So, to answer my question, is Fridays good for y'all? Or I'm trying to pick out a day that would be good for a once a week live so we can kiki and cackle and ask questions. What would be good for y'all? Fridays are good. Thursday. Fridays are good. See, Thursday, Marquita, is when I do the promotion for Marsha's Play, because that's when we put out our show. So it can be Thursday. Um, um, CC, no, I don't. I think we have a smaller dating pool than cis people, but I don't feel that we. I think we have a bigger dating pool than we think. Um, what else? Fridays are good for. So yes, okay. So I could do Fridays. I can Friday nights because I don't really be doing shit early in the day. So like, let's say Friday nights at between 7 and 9. I don't know when. I don't want to say definitely 7, definitely 8, definitely 9, but definitely like 7 or 8, like between 7 and 8. I need a dating pool. All right, so that's what we'll do. So thank y'all, and thank y'all for the donations. I really appreciate that. That I'm trying to get a new camera, so that's perfect. So um, I will be bringing Z and Mia on, my podcast co-host, and 9 p.m. is my bedtime, so it'll be before 9 p.m. Yeah, because that gets when you get to 9, it gets a little late. So I'm thinking about like between 7 and 8. That'll be when I'll try to do it, and I'll try to go for like an hour. We went to almost an hour and 30 minutes now. Um, um, yes. So all right, y'all. I'm gonna end the stream. Y'all can follow me on Instagram, which is Diamond Styles, DIAMONDSTYLZ. You can follow me on Twitter, same thing. I'm Diamond Styles everywhere. Y'all know how to Diamond spell the regular way, STYLZ, everywhere. I did do a interview about the podcast with The Root. If you go on my Twitter, it is my pinned tweet. Go read it. Go check it out if you want to learn more about the podcast. They did a whole video. I'm so excited because they did a word with Stacey Abrams and Joy Reid, and for me to be in the mix with Stacey Abrams and Joy Reid, bitch, yes. So yes, go check that out. And what else? You can follow Marsha's Plate anywhere on social media. That's where we do the podcast stuff. I'm trying to get my Facebook page, my Diamond Styles Facebook page to 1,000, because then I'll be able to do lives on there too. But you only get to do lives on your Facebook page if you're at 1,000, and I'm like at 930 something. So if y'all are on Facebook, go like my Facebook page, Diamond Styles, because I want to be able to do lives there too. And let me think. That's about it. All right. Bye-bye.